So this is normally how the day starts. Not always in such a beautiful place and surrounded by so much nature, but definitely it always starts with introspection, with putting feet on the ground, meditation, observing the self. And I know that actually sounds a little bit boring, and possibly unexciting and but obviously it sets up a good foundation for the day. And to be honest, sometimes I just don't know what else to do other than that. Sometimes I wish I could just get up and, there would be fun throughout the day. And we would just be moving and the day would just have fun from flipping the word go to the end. But that's just not the position I'm in at the moment. I'm more in a position of battling and wrestling with life's challenges, with life's toughness, and noticing life's toughness. Life can be tough, man. Life can be super tough. And this is part of where I am right now. And, I didn't really know that I was like that. But relationships close to myself and things around me have showed me that, I've actually been struggling. And there's been a reason for it. It's not necessarily life's just been wild. We're just like, when do you catch the break, And normally I would be somebody that would rather jump off a cliff than slander life or God's ways or anything like that. But I guess this has pushed me to the place of being and feeling so much like a human being and so much like, not fucking wild, bro. That I don't feel terrible to be able to say that life is flippin' tough and that and that I'm a little bit angry at God. It's quite freeing to say that I'm a little bit upset at life. I'm upset at some people around me. I'm upset, but I'm mainly upset at me, I guess, because I'm just like, fuck. However, I've been in these positions for such a long time. It makes sense, but I'm just like, give a man a bone, It's been tough, and I know without context that might not sound so weightful for those listening. And the context story is, it's a long one. It has many layers and whatever, but just, life is tough. But at the end of the day, you have to keep going. But it's just of late, the feet have been a little bit heavier. They've been dragging a little bit more. The heart's been a little bit more tight. I've been a little bit more scared. And just coming to terms with those things, just like shit. And then still putting on a positive and present face for the people in your life and the people that you have responsibilities towards and the things that you have responsibilities towards. It's tough. And I also feel like a broken record sometimes, especially to the people closest to me, because I'm consistently telling them how tough it is. And I know some people are going to think I need to go to therapy out here. Trust me, I'm open to it, but I think it's just life. I think everybody's going through this. I'm not necessarily the important one that's going through all this stuff or the only one. Like, it's just wild to realize that I think under the surface people are going through these kind of things, and it's crazy to think that you get so many happy and smiley faces throughout the day. So many happy and smiley faces throughout the day, and that each of them definitely had a challenge or gone through a challenge or whatnot, and for them to come out smiling is crazy. You know, living in South Africa, we've got an incredible situation economically, with like broad-based unemployment reaching 42%, which is stupid and one of the highest in the world, if not the highest in the world, which is ridiculous. But yet you'll walk out on the streets and you'll go into the townships and you'll see smiles on people's faces, and remarkable. The human spirit, the human nature, absolutely remarkable. But anyway, that's a new form of content that I'm exploring at the moment, you know, like a vlog vibe. My girlfriend makes sure to correct my pronunciation because I say flog, but she says vlog. It's vlog, Chico. I'm like, okay, vlog. So let's see how it goes. Just, you know, talking to the camera, just be vulnerable, and maybe just show you guys a little bit of the environment that I go through every day. This is my 7 o'clock. It's around about 7 o'clock at the moment, just past probably. And normally I'm meditating or putting my feet on the ground, praying, feeling, those kind of things. And today you guys are along for that ride. Let me try and populate this video with a bit of beautiful imagery other than just my flippant face. Yes, let's do that. So basically what you are seeing in these videos of me dancing is part of my morning routine. Although I don't do it every morning, it's more like I do it every so often and whenever I need to. Open up with a bit of yoga and then go into something a little bit more expressive, something that identifies the way in which I want to move, looks at my energy as it is and tries to move accordingly. It's, a lot of people would call it conscious dancing, and that's pretty much what it is. And you'll notice that in the one section of this one in particular, I start to kneel down, and you can't really tell it or you can't make it out in the video, but I actually am fighting back tears in that one, which is obviously very understandable given the way that the video started, saying that I've been going through a lot of difficulties and whatever the case is. And when you do these kind of practices, your yogas or anything that's going to generally allow you to open up and feel, not too strictly disciplined in one particular direction or in one particular way, that there's room for you to be allowed to feel and to move through blocks or move through emotions. When you do practices like that, it can get very emotional and things can open up inside of you. You can start feeling emotions that you thought you may have dealt with in the past. In this situation, what was happening was that I was dancing and I was obviously getting opened up to the feelings that I have expressed already in the video. And believe it or not, my
when I started doing the whole on my tippy toes sort of dancing, I started to feel my mom's presence with me. And you know, for those that won't know, my mom is, or she passed away about 2 years ago, and that process of sort of mourning her and getting to understand, you know, why she left in the way that she did and all those kind of things. Has sort of brought me to this place where I begin to connect with her and see when she comes into my space, knowing that she's around at certain times. And just in this one in particular, it was crazy because as I started dancing, as if I'm dancing with somebody, her energy was very much there and like saying, you know, dance with me kind of thing. And I know it seems very far out there, but for me it's not. I've had 3 passings in my life of people very close to me and very important in my life. Anchors, my dad when I was in matric, my mom 2 years ago, and my gran earlier this year. And all 3 of those people were very pivotal in bringing me and raising me up. And so my relationship to death and to the passing of loved ones is quite a well-explored avenue. Maybe more explored than most people, probably more explored than most people, but also maybe not, I don't know actually. And through that exploration, I've noticed in many different ways and through many different forms how my mom and my dad come to me. My gran, it's very fresh still, so can't say that I've really felt her around too much. But my mom and my dad make their presence felt for sure. And I'm still trying to understand exactly how it relates and what it's about and all that kind of stuff. But basically in this video, obviously opening up to what was going on and my emotions, my mom stepped in and was like, dance with me, and that was enough to obviously bring me to a bit of tears. And then, you know, just letting myself feel that and then composing myself thereafter in order to get to a point of being able to continue with the practice, continue feeling, continue moving. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And it was a beautiful session. Can't say I expected it. I think because you guys were there, it maybe amplified the situation. I'm not gonna lie. That hasn't happened like that in a while for me, so that was, I guess, refreshing, humbling, remarkable, and it really does help to have you guys, or I guess the camera which represents you guys, along for the ride, because it does add another dimension to my experience, which I think adds a lot of value to what I do and how I am as a human. So I appreciate that. But yeah, it's a strong practice. I highly suggest, if anybody has any connection to what I'm saying, that you give it a try. Just get yourself into a space, into a room, and just try and move however you can move, and try just watch the thoughts pass by.